Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good afternoon, guys. Here we are. Let's complete the last lecture. I was on the kind of the physical therapy, was explaining some information about the conductive method. Bismillah. I explained all of these slides at part 1. Let's start. Like I said before, we have some kinds of physical methods. First one is that the conductive. After that, diathermy. Diathermy has some kinds, infrared software. Software has some kinds or some use to can send the short wave to the specific treatment, to the specific unhealthy, damage, tissue, whatever. Okay, by using the capacitor to translate, to send, let me say it's more correctly word, to send these waves by using capacitor. And we have another way. This way is magnetic induction method. The third kind of diathermy, microwave. The last one is ultrasonic. We will explain all of these together. Let's start from the conductive. It's the easier one. When I say conductive, that means sure we will depend on the thermal equilibrium process. Let's take a look to this process. The conductive method is based on the physical fact that if two objects, if I have two material with different temperature, when I touch all of them together, at some time, all of these materials will have the same temperature. We use it at a specific space. Like I said before, it's the easier one. It focuses on the surface on just few centimeters by using pads. Like you can take this specific process with the athletes. Most of the athletes use that because some accidents, they do accidents more than the other. And the hot paraffin applied to the skin to heat the body by conduction. It leads to local surface heating. Like I said before, local surface heating. It's a simple method. We can't use it to some complicated unhealthy tissue. This method is used to treating arthritis, neuritis, and back pain. We can't use this method to focus some fracture bone. Okay. Now the diathermy, it's more important. It's a medical and surgical technique. Wow, what that means, surgical technique? That's mean we can't remove some unhealthy tissue without need to do surgical process involving the production of heat in a part of the body by high frequency electric current. Here, all the diathermy kinds will depend on the same process, high frequency electric current. By this high frequency electric current will generate another waves, different waves to treat the damaged tissue and healthy tissue, whatever, to stimulate the circulation, the blood speed, blood motion, let me say, relieve pain. It looks like a painkiller, destroy unhealthy tissue or case building vessels to clot. Let's discuss this word, single word, clot. Clot, that means some complicated fat and healthy fat is combined together, be together at the vessel, at the blood way. By that, at low temperature, like we know, the fat will be like a solid thing, okay? Like a stone in the blood way. But at when increasing the temperature, like the summer, at the fat food, at the summer, when you take a look to the fat food, it's a liquid because the temperature is increased than a winter. The same thing in your body. If you increase the clothes, you can treat your patient by melt this material, the solid fat, and convert it to be liquid. And by that, by stimulate the circulation, you will solve this problem. Is the use of high frequency electric current to produce heat. Heat from geothermy penetrates deeper than the conductive into the body than conductive heat. So it is useful for internal heating, like the clothes, like I explained it before, and has been used, for example, in the treatment of inflammation of the skeleton. You know, you have enough information about skeleton because we had a, a good explanation about it, because we had a, a lecture, yes, lecture, more than one, I can't remember, maybe we had a one lecture talking about the skeleton. By that, you have good information about skeleton. Skeleton, that's your bones, the total bones in your body. Any inflammation in any part of your body, you can use the diathermy to treat it a little bit. Like I said before, diathermy kinds, are two kinds, infrared and short wave. Let's start from infrared. Infrared, a diathermy, it is used of surface heating. The wave penetrates the skin about 3 millimeter, wow, and increase the surface temperature. The method is more effective because its heat penetrates deeper. It's a good reason to prove it's better from the conductive. Shortwave diathermy uses electromagnetic waves. Here, let me say, depend on electric current to generate electromagnetic waves. By that, increase the specific unhealthy tissue you want to treat. In radio range, two different methods are used for transferring the electromagnetic energy into body in shortwave diathermy. That means we have two kinds of transferring. The first one is capacitor, and let's start with capacitor and explain the second kind at next slide. The part of the body to be treated is placed between two metal plates, like these two pictures illustrate. Here, the body who want to treat this part will be placed between these two plates. This will be like two terminals, like two electrodes. Here, the head, the shoulder, any tissue you want to treat will act like a resistance. Resistance, when applied any electric on it, or when applied electric current on a bad conductor, this bad conductor will transmit heating. Why? Because this heating, it's translating to the resistance of this part. It's try to avoid, to stop the current flow in its body. By that, its temperature body will increase. The same thing with the bad conductor will be with the tissue you want to treat. The part of the body to be treated is placed between two metal plates like electrodes, which energized by the heat frequency voltage. The body tissue between the plates acts like an electrolytic solution, like the lemon acid. If you want and understand these two words, just you can come back to the channel and take a look to the lemon acid experiment. Lemon acid at the lemon experiment, it was the electrolytic solution to generate the electric between two terminals, like I explained the experiment. The charged particles are attracted to one plate and then the other depending upon the sign of alternating voltage on the plates, which produce resistive heating. Resistive heating, I explained that before. Here, the first stage, it's producing current from alternating current. After that, by somehow generate electromagnetic. Here, we use this electromagnetic, we send this electromagnetic by using the capacitor plates. Here, the tissue you want to treat will act like electrolytic solution, like lemon acid at lemon acid experiment. Now let's talk about the magnetic induction method. At first, let me say, at any wire, when we applied alternating current or DC current, doesn't matter. When I have current, that means I have voltage. And when I say I have voltage, that means I have current. And the third thing with these two, current and voltage, always will be the magnetic field. Any wire has current and voltage, has magnetic field. We will use this magnetic field to treat some unhealthy or damaged tissue. In induction, diathermy coils are placed around the body region to be treated, like this picture illustrated to us. This, the wire, it's put it to be like a coil. And here's another picture, it's another modern picture. The alternating current in the coil here must be careful. Any damage in this plastic and this rubber, you will shock your patient, because we using alternating current. And the coil produces an alternating magnetic field in the tissue. Consequently, alternating current are induced, producing joint heating. The last result is the damaged tissue you want to treat will, its temperature will increase. Here, the third kind of diathermy is microwave diathermy. Let's discuss how we can use the microwave to treat some damaged tissue. It uses electromagnetic waves like the others in radar range. Here it's bigger than the previous one. Microwave diathermy is another form of electromagnetic energy. These waves are produced in a special tube called a magnetron and then emitted from the applicator. Here, what is the applicator and where is the applicator? This is the applicator. The part will emit the electromagnetic. Here in another part, in another model, this the applicator, which is placed at several inches from the region to be treated. Here it's a good, a clear advantage, a clear different thing from the previous methods. We can put it at several inches from the region which want to treat. That means it's not necessary to touch the applicator and the patient's body. This way, because it's very attractive. These waves penetrates deep into the tissues. Let's take a look how much deeper than the other, causing a temperature rise and deep heating. Microwave geothermy is used in the treatment of fractures. Wow. We can send a temperature specifically to the fractured bone. That's clear how much this method is deeper than the others. Our last one is ultrasonic. Ultrasonic waves are completely different from electromagnetic. From its name, it's use sound, okay? And heard sound, not any sound waves. Let's take a look to that. Ultrasonic waves are completely different from the electromagnetic. They produce mechanical motion like heard sound waves. That means when you use this device to treat some tissue, you can hear the waves from this device, okay? Heard sound waves, like is written there. As the ultrasonic waves move through the body, the particles in the tissue move back here. The author explained to us how this tissue, its temperature will increase. Why? How? Because the tissue move back when these waves through from it and through and forth produce heating in the tissues. This method is useful for depositing heat in bones because they absorb ultrasound energy more effectively than soft tissue. It's an effective method to treat some damaged tissue. Here, like we are saying to this picture, the physical therapy, this method is used at physical therapy department. Here, the nurse, the doctor, I don't know, use some gel to increase the conductivity between this part and the part of your patient's body. Which one? The one you want to treat it. This method is useful for depositing heat in bones. This method is to focus on the bones. Some problems in bones, if your patient suffering from some problems in his bone, you can use this method. It's effective. Here at these two last slides, we will try to explaining the cold, the decreasing temperature advantage, how we can use it in medical department, how we can treat someone by using it. What is the advantage of this method? What and how the cryogenic methods used in medicine. At first, cryogenic is the science and technology of producing and using very low temperature. At first, let me say some advantage to this method, or generally to the decreasing temperature. By decreasing temperature, we can protect some organic things, blood, sperm, bone marrow, and tissues. Actually, if you have to do a surgical process, that means you need some blood. From where you can take this blood? Think about that. They will prepare this blood to you, how much you want, specific amount. After that, if you thinking about this from where, this from something approximately or looks like refrigerate. with decreasing temperature, we can protect blood from infections from bacteria, because that you can use it safely. Blood can be stored for much longer time if it is rapidly frozen, like I said before. Here at this method, treatment method, we depend on liquid nitrogen and helium. Why? Because liquid nitrogen equal minus 196, wow, and liquid helium equal minus 269 Celsius. These two incredible, it's a huge decreasing temperature. Actually, your air condition use the same technique, use one of them, approximately one of them gases, but at gas mode. After that, by some device, will push them to be liquid, and some vents in this device will work to emit air to you. This air will pass from this liquid with this incredible decreasing temperature. By that, you will gain cold air. Here, at last slide, a picture illustrates to us how we can use cryosurgery to remove some bad tissues like that. My laptop will turn off. By that, let me close it. Here, it's some important advantage to this cryosurgery. It's actually, it's really good treatment method with little bleeding. It's full controlling by the temperature, little pain sensation. All of these, it's a great advantage. And cryogenic methods are also used to destroy cells. That's it. Have a good day. See you in the next lecture. Thank you for watching or listening. Have a good day.